we as Indians normally would like to tinker. If something goes bad, we like to try to repair it ourselves, and we'll still find a repair shop around the place. In the West, you will not find anything. You'll just be too costly to repair anything, specifically a thing like a washing machine or a refrigerator or a television set or something like that. So they just dump it and move on. So in this case, the design brief would be that can this life of this product be extended to a longer usage? Is it refurbishable? Is it reusable? Or in our industry, the auto industry, we call it recon. Can it be reconstructed to the newer model? And now you have a lot of the software inputs. Can it be updated through air and be made as usable or more usable and more upgradable without ever having to change the hard part of the resource, which is impinging on the Mother Earth and its either noble metals, precious metals, or toxics, which you're putting it back as dumps. So rather than trying to draw something out as raw material, we have enough to remodel the material itself so the designer can look at materials which are modeled out of the things which are probably waste for somebody else or are already lying as waste. And the usage becomes like a service, and the disposables go back to the manufacturer themselves, who then extract whatever they can using the energy, possibly more so the renewable energy, and efficiently to put it back to use for a newer model for you.
There is now compulsion for the creative community to come together and start looking at new models of engagement. It's no more a comfort zone. I mean, it is more now the broader, deeper, and systemic. So you can't no more work in this idea of design 1.0, which is making a nice products for people to use and enjoy. But as you may have to go into higher orders of creative practice, where you look at products as services, products as organizational transformations or societal transformations approaches. He has already given some of the examples of that. But then this also requires the way we look at design. So our mindset has to change from we design objects and things to we design relationships, interaction and experiences, and within our social complex system. While we seek a lot of simplicity into many things, but the way we have gone, I think we have to embrace a lot of complexity, and that's where a lot of systems thinking has to come into picture. So the designers are very well suited because systems thinking is something which complements design thinking, and designers are trained to synthesize solutions from complex and fuzzy material. So there is a lot of scope in looking at the new paradigms for design as it goes.
Thinking ahead, they're thinking of what that future for them is going to look like, and the fact that it needs to be a sustainable future. They have started moving from linear economies to circular economies, and honestly, that's a triple win because you are maximizing. You're saving money by basically maximizing value from your raw materials. You expand into new markets with product and service innovations, and you gain a lot of goodwill by saving the environment, basically. So, like Mr. Kapuria touched upon, we're moving away from this we're moving towards a cradle to cradle, and we're moving towards zero waste processes, and that's exactly what I do at Ecoware. We use agri-waste to convert it into compostable food packaging. And mind you, this agri-waste is stuff that is, burnt across Punjab and Haryana, and we're all victims of severe air pollution at least 6 months of the year. Or typically used as animal fodder, or just generally burnt in the open, and that's really what our raw material is. So we take that, we convert it into disposable tableware, so typically plates, cups, we've done meal trays for the railways, and the idea is to displace single-use plastic to create something that's safe to eat out of and safe to dispose of as well. So if you put any of our products in soil, they turn into soil within 90 days. So they don't need any waste segregation, or any industrial composting facilities, etc. So it is, a true, simple solution out there.
Something which is very, very well kind of spoken about is product guarantees and warranties, which when we procure any of the product, not even just the green product, a regular product, we have durables, we have semi-durables, like products which have longer life, but a lot many times there is a issue of repairing a particular component or extending the life of the entire product. And I think these are things which actually makes it very difficult to kind of think about extending the life of the product, even though as citizens or as consumers we would like to do it. So in Sweden, they were trying to assess where EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility, we heard in the last session as well, these practices as policy regulatory instruments were introduced way back in 2010. Still, the EPR market, which is, or at least the products on the consumer market, out of the 500 or 600 products they evaluated, only 50 of them had a collection program. And which is similar in India. We just introduced EPR for 2 products. We have a full market of durables, semi-durables lying for us, even tires, for instance.